Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chris and Andre Show.
Being a hater, but DC has another property that came out that I really enjoyed. Could not believe it was 3 hours. The Batman.
Oh shit.
I mean, anything else that you want to add to that? As Joe disappears off screen without saying where he's going or when he's coming back.
Yeah, well,
Oh shit. That's fine. We can wait a second. He'll be back.
yeah.
Maybe.
Joe? Are you there, Joe? Joe?
Oh my god. Of course you did. So you bought the combo package? I can't eat the popcorn there because they put
I gotta
butter on it.
say, was I right about the Batman, that it was gonna be a dope movie?
Joe, I'll let you go first.
Sippy cup. Man.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was dope, right? It was
It
dope.
was so good. I came in with no expectations other than I don't really like the main actor. He had to prove things to me. I don't really think he I don't think he pulled off Bruce Wayne, but he definitely pulled off a Batman. And it hit me halfway through the movie. This is not a Batman we all know. I've seen Batman Year One. I read the comic books. I watched the movie. I have all the animated movies. So you come in that with so much backstory ready, which direction you're going to go with this, and I can see aspects from other things like Alfred being more of a grizzled special forces kind of guy,
Right.
and I saw a little bit of the whole making Thomas Wayne a bad guy in the past, but never in this way. Normally the Waynes are just like, oh, they're dead, or oh, they did something a little bit bad in the past, or they were conned to do something bad, and now Batman's got to deal with it. This is the way they portrayed Martha and Thomas Wayne gave them so much more character than they have ever had, and it makes me wish for some more of that. Like I want to see maybe a prequel series of just Thomas Wayne fighting in politics and shit like that, or leading up to his mayoral campaign.
That sounds boring as fuck.
I would watch it though, because I watch Deadwood, and I love Deadwood.
I'm Thomas Wayne, and I want to fight for Gotham.
So
I thought the movie was dope as.
this is the okay. So it clicked.
Okay, hold on, pause. We're gonna try not to do any spoilers for a little bit.
Yeah. No,
And
we
then we're
will.
gonna
We will
let-
give a spoiler. Like from here on out, spoilers.
Okay.
But yeah, this initial thank you, Andre, for pointing that out because we probably should have
everyone
that,
go to Regal and get this. Get this. It's a hard plastic popcorn bucket with a collectible Batman drink, and it's hard plastic and it's reusable and it's amazing. And for some reason they have a weird red top, which made me think of Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's dope.
But I still like it. So anyway, continue.
So the trailer was in all red, so I think that's what they were trying to mimic.
Oh,
yeah.
What do you
Vengeance.
What do you think, Chris?
I'd give it a solid B
Okay.
for Batman.
That silence afterwards, like, what do you mean a B?
Maybe even like a B minus, honestly.
Okay,
All right,
but you.
here's my take, my spoiler-free take, right? The first 2 hours of the movie had me hooked. I'm not lying. Like the first 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Man, like I was in that shit. Like I was there for Robert Pattinson as Batman. I didn't even need to see him as Bruce Wayne, right? You could have just had nothing but Batman. Make it Arkham Asylum, the video game on the big screen. The style of the fights, the style of the brutality of it. It was awesome. You saw a Batman that didn't have an escape plan for every single fight that he got into.
Yep.
He went into it knowing this might be it, right? Like, I don't know.
Highly emotional for a Batman too.
Yes. Pattinson blew me away. Like, absolutely blew me away. Like, we talked about this before, right? I had my doubts.
You shit on me.
No, stop.
You shit on me
I
on
did
that one.
initially, and my final take on it was I was wrong about Heath Ledger when they cast him as the Joker, so I was going to give Robert Pattinson the benefit of the doubt going into the movie that they cast him for a reason, right? And I believe that they did. Like, dude fucking rocked it as Batman. Absolutely. I agree with Joe. His Bruce Wayne portrayal could probably have been different, but I didn't hate it. Like, the only thing I didn't really love about his Bruce Wayne was this stupid, like, emo haircut. It reminded me of Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Like,
I would give you that. Yeah.
Cut the hair. Like, there are so many other pictures of Robert Pattinson with better hair, like, that I just think they could have used. Anyways,
I still think you shit on my assessment.
I didn't shit on your assessment.
Okay.
But whatever. You feel that way. I understand that. So, the last 45 minutes, 40 to 55 minutes, it kind of dragged for me. I'm sorry. Like, I was in it. And
that
then...
means you missed the point.
No, I didn't miss the point. Thank you very much. I don't want to go too much more into it yet because I don't want to have to start giving away like spoiler things, but there were just parts of it that felt rather convenient, things where it's like, well, yeah, granted, I was very, very much like everything wrong with by that point. Like, there were enough things that had kind of caught up to me that I was having a hard time not continuing to give like what do they call the suspense of reality or whatever? I can't even remember what.
Suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there came a point where all of a sudden I got kind of knocked out of it, and I don't know. Maybe that's not the movie's fault, but ultimately, I just felt like the last 45 minutes or so, it didn't feel like it had a really great direction in terms of how they wanted to take the movie. And so
I can't wait to go next.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like, I will let you go ahead and go because, again, like, I don't want to get into spoilers yet. I want people that haven't seen the movie and are interested in a spoiler-free review to be able to see this, but I will reserve the rest of my comments to be filled with spoilers following Andre's bullshit spewing of that's the greatest Batman movie that's ever been made.
So here's a short version. Acts 1 and 2, brilliant, heavy Batman stuff. And there was a point where it turned into not Batman the guy who's going to break your arm, to Batman the detective.
Okay.
And that's where it's like, oh, that whole thing just flowed so dope. It didn't feel like 3 hours to me because I actually felt like, oh, this is Batman. This is about Batman. We're gonna exclude Bruce Wayne from this part of the narrative, and then we get to Act 3. There was a switch in Act 2 that kind of helped me transition to Batman, the world's greatest detective.
Okay.
And so that is the non-spoiler free version. Now I'm gonna start off the
Hold on, real quick. Spoiler alert, motherfuckers. If you haven't seen the movie and you don't want it spoiled, stop listening. Skip to the next section, if there is one. No, I think this is the last thing we're going to talk about. So don't watch the rest of this episode, except for the very end where we rock with shit.
Yeah. I tell you what, dude. When the Penguin said, "World's greatest detective," that's when I started the whole pace of the movie got to that point, right? And then it was like everything else has got to be like figuring stuff out. And it carried the rest of the way through the movie, even to the end. And my brother, I actually saw the movie in Sacramento. And
oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, but it was a anyway. I'm not going to talk about location, but the point is, like, from that line itself, I was expecting to have to think about the movie, and everything else was like figuring out a puzzle, and I was mentally intrigued by the movie to figure out the puzzle.
Given the main villain.
And I actually, yeah, I know, right? And I even thought to the fact where like he had to like save the city. There were two things where I'm like, oh, this is about to be dope, and it threw me for a loop. Did he really know who who Batman really was? Right. And I'm like, oh, he didn't figure it out.
No,
then it was like
he faked you out for a second. The audience thought, oh my God, he knows. But then when you really listen to him, he doesn't actually know.
And even when Batman like pressed him, like the Riddler like lost his shit, and then he talked about the bombing, and I'm like, are they gonna do like a stupid try to like disarm all the bombs? And I'm like, no, he's gonna let the bombs go off.
I'm so glad they didn't.
And that was the icing on the cake. I was like,
oh shit, he lost.
That part in Act 3 was brilliant to me, because it set it up in Act 2. If you were expecting that in the story, and I was anticipating that in the story when that line came out. I'm like, oh, they're gonna switch it to like he has to figure the rest of this out, and he may not get all of it, but I'm sure he's gonna get the main part. And that's what I thought. That's why I thought that the ending, Act 3, was brilliant. And that's not bullshit. It was just kind of I
mean, that's your opinion. I'm not here to say that what you felt about the movie is wrong, right? Just like I hope you don't feel like my.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit here and like do that. But I'm saying, like, I thought it was well played. I thought it was well written. There were some gaps, but I was able to look over them. Like, I think the way that they introduced Selena Kyle and the Carmine Falcone relationship was kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
I think the way that they fought in the bar, she could have taken him, but I forgot about the setup for the shot. And I was like, okay, that makes sense now, but I thought that was kind of sloppy.
Yes.
But I do believe they closed the movie out in Act 3 the right way. He was supposed to miss, or he chose to miss the bombs. He let that happen for the bigger win, basically.
So Batman let the Riddler blow up the seawall for the bigger win.
I don't think he let him.
Yeah, because he caught it late. He caught it late, right? There was nothing he could do about it. So
well, no, I mean, I get that, but like, I don't think he let that happen.
Well, he could have like stopped 2 of the bombs, possibly, right? He had time.
He wasn't even at Gotham Square Garden, which, by the way, it was not square; it was round.
Nitpick.
But you got to incorporate the parking lot, man.
I think he let.
It's a square city block. You're right.
I think he let the right things happen for the story, as the detective, to figure out what's the big win here. What's going to actually, like, we're going to take some damage, but how do I not have the chaotic thing happen at the same time? And that was saving the mayor. I thought that was dope.
But did he save the mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she did get shot.
Yeah. And was Batman even there at that point?
Well, sure. Okay. No.
He got there late. That's what it was. That's how she got shot.
Yeah, he showed up. He was like, oh, I got to drive in traffic, whatever.
I was just saying, World's Greatest Detective didn't recognize a carpet tool until the world's least greatest detective pointed it out to him. Oh, my cousin installs carpet.
Don't give shit to
Martinez. That's a carpet tool.
Martinez is a treasure.
Okay.
I thought it was well played. I didn't know it was a carpet tool. To be honest with you. And
obviously, you haven't installed your fair share of carpet. I'm
Neither
not a
Bruce Wayne.
carpet
Neither
installer.
Bruce Wayne.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
I probably wouldn't have. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have connected.
But wouldn't
those
that have
dots.
been like one of the first things you started looking at? I mean, it was the very first murder that occurred. Nobody was like, "What is this weird metal thing that he killed him with?"
If I can
But
add,
he only took possession of it at that moment. right? He didn't take
Yeah.
possession of it.
Sure,
at the
but
first
my point
murder.
is that like Gotham PD had that murder weapon in their possession for how
Yeah,
many
but
days and didn't do
sure.
anything with it.
Police force not competent, right? Corrupt. Got
I mean,
it.
that is Gotham
Next.
PD.
It is. I mean, like,
It's 100% Gotham.
but it's corrupt. Not like they just let everybody commit crimes. It's corrupt in that they let Falcone and his guys commit crimes because they're on the payroll. Like,
Yeah.
Fair.
Right?
Okay. My
Yeah,
point.
I get what you mean.
Yeah. You could probably dissect the story in that manner.
that's what
and-
I do, by the way. That's me. I mean, I'm sorry. No, I don't apologize. Fuck that. I have a very critical eye when it comes to these things, and especially superhero movies, that I would love to see be done correctly, right? Or be done to the best of their ability. I will
I
say,
think the
I still
Batman
think
was-
that this was one of the, if not the best Batman movies I have ever seen, right?
I would agree.
Okay? Better than the Christian Bale trilogy, better than Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yes.
Yeah,
Christian Bale, no.
You think Christian Bale was a better Batman or a better Bruce Wayne, or is it just the Joker? They're the Joker.
He was definitely a better Bruce Wayne. And we talked about this.
But this was a more or less like you had maybe 10% Bruce Wayne, 90% Batman. Which again, that's what I'm here for. I don't give a shit about Bruce Wayne, honestly.
But
Like
you should.
I don't. I want to see Batman in a movie. Like I don't care about Bruce Wayne having to protect nobody in his life except for Alfred, who they tried to make you think they were gonna kill, but obviously they aren't gonna kill fucking Alfred. That old woman that was in the house, that bitch should have died. She should have been the one that opened the mail. She should have died, and that should have been the thing going forward. Putting Alfred in the hospital, yeah, it led to the whole, oh, Bruce, I should have protected you, and I wish I knew what the answer was all along. But it didn't really matter. Like, that could have come up any other way. I felt like that was really forced. They were trying to make you, oh my God, they killed Alfred. And I was the whole time, I was like, Alfred's not dead.
I think they were trying to expose some of the flaws in the character, which is Batman Bruce Wayne, right? And I think they did a brilliant job of doing that.
Can you expand on that for that specific instance? Like, where do you feel like that helped to expose the flaws of Batman himself? Because he didn't Alfred didn't have a cell phone?
No,
I know. It happened an hour ahead. And then like, the timing, like the way that they cut everything together to make it seem like, oh, it's just an emergency, and he's calling and nobody answers. And then finally, Dory or whatever her name answers. She's like, oh, Mr. Wayne, it happened an hour ago. We've been trying to reach you.
Miss Pringle, no.
So again, the flaw, right?
Yep.
He was so much being Batman, like as his life,
Yeah.
and he was trying to push Alfred away. But when all the dots connected for him, he was like, I fucked up, right? I think that's where the scene of him sitting in the hospital, we're gonna assume he wasn't being Batman for a minute.
Right.
Like kind of caught up to him.
I mean, he was very much Bruce Wayne in that moment. You're absolutely right. Like,
yeah, the flaws in the character of Bruce Wayne Batman are those, where it's like he's on this mission that doesn't have an objective or an end date, right?
sure.
His rogue gallery always seems to self-populate. And for him to take those moments and show the flaw, it's like if you had a Tony Stark being drunk and just being reckless.
Oh, like he did in Iron Man 2?
But for like 2 scenes. But I think in
Wait, was it Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3?
I think it was 2.
No, you're
That was
right.
the-
Yeah. Because Iron Patriot shows up, and
Right.
well,
Patriot.
I should say that Colonel Rhodes shows up and
Rhodes.
steals one of Barrow's.
So my point being is
He
like
earned his
that
back
it
in
shows some of the like what's left of Bruce Wayne the person outside of the 2 personas he has to manage. And he struggled with that. I thought that was actually pretty brilliant. When he's driving the car, he's like calling and calling. I want to assume he's wrestling with the fact of like, yo, I'm messing up here. right? Like I pushed Alfred away, not knowing this was going to happen, not knowing somebody could get close to me.
So
I know this could be the last time I see him.
Yeah.
What did you feel? Because I guess I didn't get the sense of him pushing Alfred away. Maybe I missed that.
Oh, he for sure was. He was fighting back.
The whole thing, you're not my father, you're all that stuff, and there's a lot of things that set up that whole scene, and it's like, oh, this is where you have to like do the payback, right? And pay it off. And like, what happens then? How do you really feel about it? If he was really this avenging knight, if he was really vengeance, would Alfred's death really matter? The answer is no.
Okay. That I can agree with. I still feel like ultimately knowing...
The man should have died.
Well, no. I just... Going into it... You can't kill Alfred in the very first movie, right? Like,
Yeah,
that's
you
not...
can.
No,
You totally
okay,
can.
you could have if you weren't going to do more Batman movies, but we know that they're going to because it's a freaking franchise.
But the franchise is not set in stone, right? The mythos is, right? But how did he get to a point where he trusts Alfred with everything? This could be that defining moment.
Okay. I mean, I'm willing to accept that. I'm okay. Other issues that I had with the movie. No, I mean,
you guys don't like it when I shut your shit down.
No, I just said I'm willing to accept that. It's not that I don't like it, but that wasn't the only problem I had. The very beginning of the movie, right? Dude goes out and is like, I am the Shadow. Everybody's terrified of me in this city. Until I run into a group of thugs with their face painted who don't know who the fuck Batman is. When there's a fucking bat symbol in the sky, who are you supposed to be? Vengeance. Like, and then the dude on the street who's like, don't hurt me. Like, nobody knows who the fuck Batman is after 2 years fighting crime in Gotham.
Even though we're just going to show you two other circumstances where people know Batman so well.
Exactly. Him literally not even being there. The fact that there's shadows next to them is terrifying enough for them to leave whatever crime it is that they're committing.
Go to the Keaton Batman, and Batman was a myth. So unfortunately, it ties into that mythos of the Batman. Like, yeah. And Joe, you read Year One, right?
I read Batman it, and I have it right in front of me.
He was considered like he didn't exist. Like literally, that was like part of the mythos of Batman.
What you have to consider is that one, Batman was so efficient at hiding himself away from the world when there's no crime, that a lot of people never ever see him. Normal populace don't get to see him, and the criminals who do see him are already beat up, caught in jail, thrown in a hospital, whatnot. So there's not much public awareness of him other than there's a light in the sky, and we heard stories of a guy dressed like a bat beating the shit out of people. So, and I think what you have to keep in mind is Bruce Wayne said it really early on in the movie. There's too many crimes, and I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah,
right.
So that was going to be my second point.
So but they literally counteracted that with the people running away because they saw the bat symbol in the sky and there was shadows around them.
Yeah,
like that's all it took.
It wasn't executed well, but this is what I'm trying to keep in my mind. Okay. Those guys are Joker's gang. They're a Joker gang.
Yeah.
And they're not.
I don't know if that's true.
They are. The white paint, the smiles. Yeah, if you look at it, it's pretty much
either
exactly
that or they're big Dia de los Muertos fans, and they were just a couple of days early.
They were like, it looked like they took them straight out of Batman Beyond and put them in here.
You're right.
A gang of white face Jokers, and then also just a side note, just the symmetry of that white guy who's full white face got his ass beat. He's a full Joker. Black guy who's initiating to be a Joker, half white face, and then he's literally at the end of that, him being scared, most of his white has run off in the rain and everything. So
yeah, I got that imagery, but I also realized that's a kid from Titans.
Yeah, I heard that online too. People were like, yeah, it's good to see him back, and also kind of adds a weird canon thing.
Sure.
Anyway, so we have to acknowledge this show coming into it. It's an Elseworld story. This is not the Batman we've known. This is not the Batman we've seen before. And ultimately, this is not the Batman at the same skill level. This is one that's been trained. He learned to fight from Alfred, which makes him a brawler, which is why he doesn't dodge many attacks. He takes them full force or breaks
Right.
your bones, knocks you out.
Right.
He's a full, big-chested brawler, and that to a fault. Hence the shotgun shell to the chest that he could have easily avoided. Now,
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why anybody didn't shoot him in the face.
Yeah, right.
Okay, dude. Okay. Issue number 3, right? Ding, ding, ding. When he finally shows up at Gotham Square Garden,
Gotham
not
Circle,
Madison, Gotham Circle Garden. He's up hanging.
Do you know the history? Do you know the history of New York's original name? Do you know what New York City was called originally?
Gotham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's-
continue.
Whatever.
So they should have kept that name. That was awesome.
Yeah.
What?
But look at what it would have created. We'd have a Batman on our hands right now.
That'd
if
be
that were the
great.
case.
That'd be great.
I don't know that it would
I live
be.
in Gotham.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, dude is fighting a bunch of random nobodies with rifles on
it's
top
so
of the, large projector
The catwalk.
screen. The catwalk, sure. Which, why they didn't have Catwoman on the catwalk will be beyond me.
Shut up.
Yeah, but anyways, dude is like, oh, I'm gonna kill the Batman, but let me take like 15 minutes to reload my shotgun, very
Well, he was
carefully
scared.
point the double barrel shotgun at his forehead, and then conveniently wait for Selena Kyle to jump on my back and kill me while the Batman is there. Like, no,
I think
you
this goes
just
back
shot
to
him
what
in
you
the
originally said about the mythos being kind of a little bit everywhere. Because one, the guy obviously knew who Batman was, and
Yep.
before he got knocked down, he was panicking. He was scared shitless. So I think him slowly getting himself together to getting the shotgun ready to shoot Batman in the face was a big testament to Batman's mythos, that he still scares people to the point where they don't even think they can actually kill him.
I guess
So-
that's fair, but at the same time, it's not like he was fumbling with the shotgun shells.
He
Like,
should
that
have
would have
been,
been
though.
great.
He
Yes,
should have
exactly.
been, though.
Yes, he should have been, and he wasn't, which is a fucking problem.
He was just kind of standing there like, what do I do now?
Yeah, it's
All right, so
like
let
I'm
me-
moving in slow motion, but I'm not actually scared or concerned or anything like that. Selena Kyle in Carmine Falcone's office. Do you know who my mother was? No, dude. You
that
fucking
was-
take
that
the
was-
shot. But obviously I get that they couldn't. But then don't put that fucking scene in there. They're shoehorning this stuff in to give you
Yeah.
these emotional moments
So,
that then
all right,
are
Chris,
completely left
Reel
unfulfilled.
it back in.
They're trying to world
Super
build,
hype.
but I
Super
don't
hype.
think that's something
Yeah,
they should
that's
even
what I
bother
do.
for.
Sorry,
Because,
have you watched
first
this
of all,
podcast before?
Carmen Falcone dies, which was unexpected. And I'm
Good
going to do a
props to the
verbal
actor,
typo
by the
correction.
way.
It was suspension of belief, not disbelief.
Thank you.
But I think that the original cut of the movie was 4 hours. They had to cut an hour and some change.
Okay,
he got
Zack
cut a lot.
Snyder.
It's a good story. I would watch.
Yeah, it's a good story that dragged for the last 45 minutes. That shit could have been, those certain things could have been cut out that wouldn't have detracted from the story and would have delivered a more concise product in the end. You're telling me that dude had another fucking hour and change worth of bullshit for me to watch? Was it just Batman sitting there going I don't know, could it be a carpet tool? It might be, but let's ask this other guy. Do you think it's a carpet tool? No, I don't think it's a carpet tool.
I don't know. I think that the part that so Act 3 was basically the Batman being a detective.
And I love
right?
that. I'm here
And
for that.
I don't know where the other parts fall into the additional hour. I don't think we need to have a director's cut, to be honest with you, right?
But
We
Because that would
probably
be-
will, but yeah.
and it'll probably sell, right? It's probably
yeah.
going to fill in some of the holes.
I'll buy the 4K instantly.
Of course you will.
I'll get the
I think
Best
it was a
Buy
good
Steel
movie.
book.
Look,
So-
I agree. A B- is it's not a bad rating. A B- is passing.
Sure. So for me, a B, I'm going to watch it again, right? But I think that
You're gonna watch
if
No Way
anything-
Home again?
Yeah. Actually, watched it.
Bullshit. Fuck you.
watched it
You
again.
are so full of shit.
I literally watched it in Sacramento
But
because my
Your son
nieces
hadn't
and
seen it yet?
nephews- my nieces and nephews haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And I talk shit during the whole
exactly.
movie.
You are so full of shit. I'll watch it again so that I can critique the fuck out of it in front of some 8 and 12-year-olds that don't know any better. And now I'm totally gonna ruin Spider-Man for them for the rest of their lives.
I did not ruin the whole movie.
I know you didn't. I'm just fucking with you.
But I will say, like, and that's fine. A B is like, I'll watch it again and then whatever, right?
You have not stopped talking shit about No Way Home.
Because I don't think No Way Home was as good as people give it credit for.
Okay. You feel like No Way Home is reading its own, is believing its own press.
Yeah.
It's a fucking movie, Andre. It doesn't have feelings or thoughts. It can't believe anything.
Dude, which side of the argument are you on?
I'm on every side of the argument.
So, if I may, gentlemen.
You may.
So
you Aunt May.
Jeez.
They shouldn't have killed Aunt May. I'm not okay with that.
Why?
The hill. Hold on. Hey. Oh, not Spider-Man. No, Batman. Okay, there's a couple of points I want to make here. Because it's the same shit I had problem with the last Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Do not build up, and especially do not quickly build up, fear of a character dying just to immediately show that they're okay. That's completely bullshit.
I agree.
There's no reason for that. It's juvenile. It's something. It's like Teletubbies hour. What is that bullshit around?
Okay, and that's where I felt like with Alfred.
I think since this is a more darker world, surprisingly they're taking a lot of tonal cues from Joker. Since it's more darker and Batman's more susceptible to his emotions, it would have been better to kill Alfred off. Or here's my other thought. I've thought about this as soon as I left the movie. Not once in the entire movie was Harvey Dent ever mentioned. No, everybody from Freeze to Penguin had Easter eggs or direct references. Harvey Dent, none. When I first saw him pick up the package and he turned over and said fireproof, the first thought that came to my mind was, is he going to be the new Two-Face? Because would it not be awesome to see a person who pretty much settled his whole life on, I messed up, I let the Waynes die, I need to raise their kids, at the same time never finding. Obviously he's a great detective, better than Batman, because he can decipher code a hell of a lot quicker, and he has a lot. So,
although to be fair, he deciphered it incorrectly at the beginning.
Well, at least he didn't not notice a carpeting tool.
Oh, that's fair.
So when I saw it in his hand, I was like, okay, two things are gonna happen. They're either gonna kill him, or he's gonna get horrifically maimed, go crazy, and he's gonna become the new Two-Face.
Oh, but he was perfectly fine.
I've never seen ever in anything I've ever watched with Batman. There's never been a Alfred Two-Face, and that would have been a wonderful, like, oh my God, this is this new unique world. But that was a missed opportunity. So, but what I realized halfway through was this is not a Batman we're used to. This is it's not necessarily year one Batman, but this is year two. And he's got his people are afraid of him. He's got his art form down to a science where he's beating the shit out of people without thinking about it. But he's also hyper emotional. Like, he looks like he's going to crack at any moment. Just
looks like you're gonna cry every moment.
Yeah. But so I think that's when the actor they chose for that particular. So in that particular reasoning, choosing the actor they chose for that to be hyper emotional was perfect. That
his haircut didn't help.
I mean, I told you he's going to be a dark, brooding guy. But the haircut you can explain.
Sad.
You can explain since he's been recluse.
Yes, no, I get that. He's been a reclusive person for all this time, and so he hasn't gotten a haircut.
Out of touch,
to be fair, Alfred would have snuck in and cut his hair in the middle of the night and been like, "Bruce, you look ridiculous."
I totally saw Twilight when he kissed Catwoman. I was like, this is such a belt.
The guy with no
I guess that was another thing that felt very forced to me. The Catwoman Batman's romance felt somewhat unnecessary.
I thought it was kind
dude's creeping on her from the drawing a direct. I get it. Like, they were trying to draw a direct parallel to Riddler, right? In that moment, because you saw the scene at the very beginning, which, by the way, I was fooled on that. I thought that was going to be like the origin story piece. Now, stop for a second and listen to what I'm actually saying before you hold your hand in your head. I thought that was
even with the narration.
Yes, even with the narration at that point. I thought that was Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne and Bruce dressed up as a ninja for a split second.
No, it wasn't. That's what I thought the same thing.
Thank you.
I thought the exact same thing. I thought it'd be because would it not make sense that young Bruce Wayne has a fixation on being a ninja?
Exactly. It made sense, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that for a moment there, I looked at it and saw that, and I was like, "Oh, this is the origin story." Am I glad that they didn't waste a bunch of time being like, Batman's
little bus.
parents? Excuse me, what?
Okay, little bus. You guys are both on a little bus.
How am I a little bus?
How can you have the narration and then set up the scene of his parents dying?
2 out of the 3 people on this podcast felt the same way about that scene going into it. So if anybody's on the little bus here, it's you, because there's less fucking seats, bro.
Jesus.
You guys are little bus asses.
I swear to God.
What?
Swear to God.
And what? What do you do? Come to Raleigh and get a beer?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's what we need to do.
But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. The next thing I'll just talk about. Movies are kind of long. Me personally, I didn't mind the length of the movie.
Hold up. Before we go into that next and final segment, I just gotta say something about this Joker guy, right?
I didn't like how they put that up.
Okay, yeah, that's a
gonna
good
be
point.
him right there.
You didn't like him. You know who played the Joker, right?
Yeah, the guy who was in
Druig from Eternals.
The people are actually thirsting over after that movie because
I don't really get that. I get they obviously did some face cosmetics and stuff like that in order to get him that very angular look. Christy,
Dude.
My wife, felt the same way. She was all about the Joker in that final scene. Not final scene, but
his hair was like this. His teeth were like that. He looked like he's been hurt. If they don't bring this version of the Joker in, I'll be surprised.
See, obviously somebody wasn't paying attention.
I saw the distortion in the
his side
camera.
profile. His teeth were showing through his jaw. I mean, through his cheek.
Yeah. They were
and his nose was burnt and angleized. It's not even a word. It is in this. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that has to be where they're going for it, and I wouldn't mind that because we're not getting this, and we're not getting that, but we're definitely getting this.
Fucking pictures you have, yeah.
I'm a comic book fan.
This is amazing. You brought props to this episode, and that's wonderful. You got the bucket, you got the cup, you got 3 different Joker faces, holy shit, you came prepared, man.
I'm gonna have nightmares now and shit.
All I did was put Nightwing behind me up here and make him front and center because that's the Batman I want to see after they get done with the Batman. I think I've had enough of Bruce Wayne as Batman. What I want, okay, hold on. Listen to me for 1 second and tell me that I'm wrong, right?
You're wrong.
Stop. Ben Affleck as grizzled old Batman who is no longer Batman and takes on a protege as Nightwing to become the new Batman. You would not love that?
No, because
You're
that would
so
be
fucking wrong.
That would be Batman Beyond.
It is Batman Beyond. That's the whole fucking point. I've seen Batman how many fucking times now? They have another story that they can tell. Why can't we tell the Batman Beyond story in live action on the big screen? Why is that such a fucking cardinal sin?
But that's not Nightwing. Those are 2 different characters.
No, they're not.
Dude, this is Elseworlds
Batman
story.
Beyond was
they can
Nightwing.
How to do it. So,
Chris,
you mean Tommy McGinnis?
Terry.
I'm sorry, you're
Terry.
You're smoking crack.
No, I'm not.
So wait, hold on.
His character was called Nightwing in the cartoons.
So Chris is correct in the
Terry
respect
McGinnis.
that
Yes,
when they
Nightwing.
retconned Batman Beyond, Nightwing became, that character.
Oh shit! Did Joe just back me up on this?
So
what craziness?
The TV show
did you
came
say?
out first. Batman Beyond became popular after the season ended. They didn't get renewed. A couple years, 5 to 10 years later, they wrote because fans were like, why didn't Robin become the next Batman? Why did Batman just become old and just retire? Well, they wrote a storyline where one of the Robins becomes the Batman Beyond. He uses the prototype suit for a very small amount of time, and then he gives it up because he doesn't want to be Batman, and he goes back to being Nightwing. So yes, you're both correct. In reality, you know, McGinnis is Nightwing. I mean, is Batman Beyond, but they also put some history in the middle of that to cushion it.
Well, I will accept your apology in any form that you would like to issue it at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll accept that one.
That was signed, sealed, and delivered. If we're gonna do Batman Beyond, we should do Batman Beyond proper. Like I don't think that we.
With that kick-ass soundtrack too. God.
I'm not.
Yeah,
look,
I think
this is not like to say that I didn't want to see this Batman. I love this Batman. Again, probably the best Batman I've seen. Right? Like I like this better than
I will say this timeline does actually leave way to get to a Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond, right? It's a Earth 2.
Yeah, but that's like fucking 30 years from now when...
No, it doesn't have to be. Like, you get a trilogy, you probably get like an introduction of the rest of the Bat family for 2 movies, and then you move into Batman Beyond, right? So you can actually take the same actor, Robert Pattinson or whoever else, that may fit that mold in 5-10 years, and you go into Batman Beyond.
I think you bring back Christian Bale and Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer and George Clooney, and we do a multiverse of madness version of Batman.
Ooh.
I think Clooney could play like a old man.
Why can't Ben Affleck play that character, though? That's what I don't understand.
Listen, so the Flashpoint...
He was such a good Bruce Wayne. Why wouldn't he be an amazing mentor for a young protege?
Listen, so the Flashpoint movie already shows that we're going to be meeting Batman in 89. So that's pretty cool. So there's plenty of room for other versions of Batman to just kind of, you know, interact. I would like to see this version of Batman meet other Batman who are more seasoned and experienced, so they kind of
actually
level out.
Another question I have: does this Batman now tie into the Justice League? Because the reason I asked that is because they previewed the shit out of all the Justice League movies that are coming up at the beginning of this Batman. So
I think they mostly did that to show that as a company they're going to move into a different direction. And they're going to create more quality and interconnected movies, because up till now,
this is not
I think
one
they've
of
been
them.
pretty. Yeah, I think. Well, yet.
Hey, the movie you came to see is not part of this. Yeah. But look, we're going to connect everything else going forward. But fuck this movie, because we didn't really like Robert Pattinson as Batman.
That's why I think we have to consider the Flashpoint scenario. That he may see him in some small way.
Well, and right, because Flash has the ability to travel to different dimensions, right? Essentially.
Universes.
Or
universes.
Mess up time.
Yeah, sure. He's already went to the Arrowverse and met his counterpart over there. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be surprising if when he tries to go back into the past and save his mom for the 20,000th time, because that seems to be the only thing Flash can do with this storyline is bring back his mom.
See, and that's why I was so glad that they didn't spend a bunch of time, just like Spider-Man Homecoming didn't spend a bunch of time on the origin story. We've seen that a million times. I don't need to see that again. I get, he's a Spider-Man. Got it. He's a Batman. Got it. Like, I love the fact that they just kind of jumped into it. Like, 2 years I've been fighting crime in this city, and now the shadows, everybody thinks that I'm there, except for this one group of goons who's like, who the fuck are you? You got some pointy ears and you kind of look like a bat, but I can't put 2 and 2 together.
I think he was just being an asshole for that, dude. I think he was just trying to get a rise out of him. Like, we don't know who you are. Like, you're so insignificant.
Bullshit.
My thing is the dude should have never got up.
Shit.
He should have never got up after getting his ass beat that hard.
Yeah, I would have been good, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Like, yo, you straight up like broke my nose, my jaw.
Shit.
Like, I think he probably hurt my kidneys.
Right.
But
or that one guy at the end who got his shit punched in so much, and there's not much blood. He's just a broken nose.
That was bullshit. No, that was fucking bullshit.
I would have been good. So, I'm like, yo, I'm good. Yo.
Also, did anybody recognize that dude from any other movies?
Yeah, it's Rorschach.
The Kingsman.
Kingsman, that's it, right? Okay.
He was the dude in the train tracks where he had everybody tied up, and it was the final test to see like would they squeal on the other Kingsmen.
Okay, since that's why the camera focused on him a little longer than needed.
Also, totally ridiculous, absolutely unnecessary, a completely unrelated film series. Don't give a fuck. And I agree with you,
Star
Joe.
power.
That dude got his fucking face beat the fuck in. There is absolutely no way he should have been recognizable.
He should
That
have been
dude was
gargling
swallowing
blood.
his teeth at that point.
But hey,
So,
I want to throw this in here. Sorry, I just have so
Do
much
it.
to say, but I'm trying to keep it concise. My father came with me to the movie. You know, I took both my daughters and my father with me. And my father is a super cynical person. Like, holy shit.
I want to meet your dad because I think we get along.
He has so many like issues with so many comic book movies these days, but he's as big of a fan as I am, but he gets annoyed really with the tropes that keep repeating itself. One of the big things he hates is over sexualization of characters and hyper gore for no reason.
Okay.
So he hated the Suicide Squad. Like he hated it. He was like there's no reason for this.
It's
And
okay
I was
to be
like,
wrong.
okay, I get that.
I'm just kidding.
Having come out that movie, he was impressed that they could show so much violence but not go too far with it, like it's like campy blood. And two, he said since at all the Batman movies he's watched, he said this is the first time since like Batman '89 that he's felt like he's watching Batman, and he liked it. So I know it's not my opinion, it's not your opinion, but this is opinion coming from somebody close to his 60s at this point, and that I think that's what kind of audience we need to think about, because this movie is having to cater to so many people, like decades long, generations of fans, and I think it's hitting a really good spot with that. Obviously, it has its faults.
The genre is catering to that many generations, right?
Again,
exactly.
a B- is a good grade. Like, I skated by in life on B-.
Oh man.
I knew that would get you, Andre. All right. Last thing that I want to mention in terms
No,
of...
I want to ask, are we of the Batman films?
Yeah.
In ranking order.
Yeah.
I want to ask that
Okay.
question. I'm not sure
I'll go
if you're
first.
going to ask that question.
The Batman. Okay, to be fair, I have not seen the Joker, so I'm not including that in this.
shouldn't count.
Right, because
haven't
Batman
seen
wasn't
Joker?
in that, right? No, I haven't seen Joker.
Oh, it's fantastic. If you like the Batman, you'll like Joker. It has very similar themes and tones of the hopelessness.
Andre
and
disagrees,
sad
but
and
I will take your word at it because I agree with you more in this particular context, Joe. Okay, so The Batman, the second movie from the Christian Bale trilogy with the Joker, but that has way more to do with Heath Ledger than it did with the actual Batman.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then I would say probably Michael Keaton in the first Batman, right? Then, this is tough. I like Val Kilmer, but I also like George Clooney, so it's hard to kind of put... No, Adam West from the TV show, because I love me some campy Batman and some shark repellent. And then it's probably a tie with Val Kilmer and George Clooney at the bottom there. Okay, what the fuck is your problem with that ranking, Andre? Jesus Christ, can I not just get like
Can I
a
just
fucking
have
nod of
this?
approval from
Can I fucking
my
have
father
this?
figure on this episode?
He just wants you to tell
you
him.
like-
He
Daddy,
created his whole
please,
podcast
tell me I'm
just
good.
just so you tell me you love him. You
Tell
proud of
me you
him.
love me.
God, I'm starting to question a lot about you.
Good.
Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
Tied. Yeah, because both of those series were fucking garbage. Like, I mean, Batman and Robin, really? Chris O'Donnell? The whiniest bitch
Okay.
on the face of the planet?
All right, Joe. What about you? Because Chris is on some bullshit.
Jesus Christ. It's the same thing.
You're not gonna like it, bro.
Yeah,
You're not gonna like what I have to
exactly.
say.
Do it. Fucking disappoint this man. He deserves
The
it at this
Batman,
point.
Heath
The
Ledger,
Batman.
Heath Ledger, the movie,
I didn't even put Affleck in there. See, that's how fucking gettable he is as Batman to me.
So yeah.
He's a great Bruce Wayne according to some people, but he's a shit fucking Batman.
The Batman, Heath Ledger's the second Batman with Heath Ledger, and then the third one with Bane, because I felt like that was the most character-driven Bane we've ever seen, ever. He wasn't just some Cuban, Mexican, stereotype Latino guy who likes to wrestle, because depending on which comic book or storyline you're talking about, he originates from a different fucking place, which is annoying, because not all Latinos are the same. Anyway.
You think darkness is your friend.
Then bat nipples, just for sheer campiness, I just cannot go without.
Which bat nipples? There were multiple bat nipples.
Yeah, it was the one. It was also bat nipples and bat groin. That was the one with Robin with Freeze.
Fuck you. I don't even like you anymore, Joe.
Yo, Bo, hold on. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah.
Speaking of odd body parts to have on a Batman, this Batman had bat eyebrows.
Yeah,
had little silver bat eyebrows.
I did not notice that.
You look at a picture. It looked like he penciled
I
them in.
will go back. I
don't
tell you what, I'll go to the
understand why
movie
they
theaters
have
and
it.
watch it again.
I don't understand why they're there. They kept distracting me, and the fact that he was also like he was very beefcake, but also stiff when he walked. So I think that's just like a costume design issue. Mm-hmm. But then again, he did take like 1,000 fucking bullets,
right?
And he's perfectly fine.
No, the stiffness, like I kind of got right because he was getting his ass kicked so much or taking so many hits that ultimately, I mean, like I do water aerobics 5 days a week, and my ass is sore. So I can't imagine like getting into a fight, well, even if I'm wearing like some sort of magical Kevlar suit, right?
Yeah. My ass is sore.
Andre's over here like gasping for air on that water aerobics comment.
I got my water aerobics. I'm a G. So here's my Batman
Do it.
list. I'm gonna tie a tie.
That's such fucking. I tied at the bottom. All right, that's acceptable.
I think
Tying at the
Christian
top?
Bale. I think Christian Bale and the Batman, Robert Pattinson, tie. Great representation of the character. Flaws and pluses on Bruce Wayne, so I'll give both of them. Like, overall, it'd be a tie.
Okay.
I would say Keaton because it was the first Batman.
Okay.
Like on the screen, and I would say number 3 would be Affleck. And I think and to Affleck's defense, those like every script he's had with the character, garbage. Like straight garbage. I think if you put Ben Affleck in because the new Batman was the release for this new version of our new theater release of Batman, with a good script, he would have killed it.
Do you think that Ben Affleck in this movie would have been good?
It would have been a good year 2,
right?
Right. Like if I give a clean slate without. With Matt Reeves directing, or even with Affleck directing, I think like The Accountant honestly gives like Ben Affleck, if he would have had it like a vision of of Batman, it would have been dope. I think like that's after watching The Accountant, I wish I could have seen a Ben Affleck version of Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Where do the George Clooney and Val Kilmer Batmans rank below that?
They don't.
No, they have to rank somewhere. You only rank 3.
Like,
and are we including Adam West?
No, I just can't respect that.
That's fucking blasphemy.
Talking mean to the dead.
It's fact.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
thank you for tuning into the very last episode of the Chris and Andre Show, because we will no longer be doing these anymore because my co-host has lost his fucking mind and doesn't even recognize that Adam West possibly is the greatest Batman to ever exist, but was given absolutely dick all in the 60s to work with.
Yeah,
He's talking about like, oh, Ben Affleck, give him a good script and let him be Batman, and then, yeah, it'd be great.
Okay.
Well, no shit. Of course, you give him a good script. You give anybody a good script, and they'll fucking make a good movie.
Is somebody missing their pacifier? Here's your pacifier. So Adam West would be at the end of the list.
Okay.
I would rank George Clooney above Val Kilmer because George Clooney does a better Batman than Val Kilmer.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty.
But I still don't respect the. I actually saw the Adam West Batman movie, like years after it came out, obviously as a kid, and I was pissed because I watched it.
Did you watch the Adam West Batman show?
Yeah.
Batman.
It used to come on
Did that give
reruns
you
when I
any
was a kid.
appreciation for Adam West whatsoever?
No, it actually bothered me because even at that time the comics were more like on edge than that show was.
Yeah, but television isn't comics in the 60s.
Sure.
Television was
a
a...
room and just talk this out. I feel a lot of energy.
There ain't no fucking talking this out. This is a divorce.
Fine. Like, your Batman logic is fucked. I get it.
Yeah, because
So-
I want to see Nightwing and Batman Beyond, and Andre's over here like,
I
those are
think we're
two
beyond
different
the
people.
point where
I want to see a
the
proper
studio
Batman Beyond.
needs to just give us more Batman, but like not Batman per se, but more sidekicks, more characters. Speaking of that, freaking Gordon
Titans.
No,
Okay, no,
Homeboy
go ahead.
Gordon
Yeah.
is getting a TV show, and Penguin is getting a TV show.
Okay, so I will say, I totally missed the boat on Colin Farrell being in this movie as Penguin until I got to the final credits. Which was awesome, by the way. That was an amazing reveal when I got to the end. I'm like, wait, wait a second. That was Colin fucking Farrell? That's amazing. Great job. Absolutely great. Jim Gordon,
Yeah.
I liked in this movie. I thought the guy, it's the guy from Westworld. I can't remember his name, but I enjoyed that. It's
He's a wonderful
Joe, the fact that
actor.
you aren't sitting here fucking bashing them for making Jim Gordon black is beyond hypocritical.
I wanted to talk
Just to
about
be
that earlier.
very
I
fucking
no,
clear
No,
about
it's not.
that.
I wanted to talk about that earlier. You know, Titans. The way I feel about Titans aside, I think when looking at these characters on screen, that was Gordon and that was Catwoman. Their characters exceeded outside of their physical appearance. So when I looked at them, I didn't have any. When I
You
felt
mean
their
Catwoman, who
performance-
literally had a leather bodysuit but decided to wear a fucking stocking cap that covered her nose and happened
It's
to have little pointy edges on it.
That's
Jeffrey
that's
Wright
very
is-
much so
is-
original Catwoman.
Jeffrey Wright
comics.
played Commissioner Gordon.
Thank you.
You know that proves
What?
you can't sexualize Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, I mean,
That's why it didn't matter to you. Freaking
no, that has nothing to do with it.
No,
it
I
does.
found him very humorous. He was very
Who was
fun
the
to
guy that
listen to
played
and
Commissioner Gordon in the Christian Bale movies? I'm completely blanking
gosh.
now, but it's the really
Yeah, I
famous
forgot his
actor.
name too, but from
He's
this
British.
point, I would say he's a better point-to-point recreation of Commissioner Gordon from the comics.
But also very sexy.
That mustache?
Yeah, phew,
Yeah.
I'd ride that all day long.
Amazing.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. That's right. Oh, Gary Oldman
So
can
I
get
think.
it.
So I think.
I'm just saying this to make Andre uncomfortable at this point. That's all I'm really going for.
Yeah, I think that you kind of can't botch Commissioner Gordon.
No, I think you
yeah,
fucking
I think
can. I think you absolutely
very
can.
much so.
But
who's played Commissioner Gordon and that's botched it?
I'm not saying that somebody has botched it, but I'm not willing to sit here and say that it's unbotchable.
Okay, it's like JJ from the Daily Bugle, right? You almost can't botch it.
No, that's a lie.
Here.
You can't get any better than the dude that plays him right now.
Probably could. Perry White by Lawrence Fishburne, brilliant. Probably the most energetic of the characters ever been in Superman. There's some
Okay.
characters. It goes back to my point. If it's not,
I
if
never
it
saw
adds to the character-
Superman, so.
Okay, so if it doesn't take away from the character, the person can be anybody.
Well,
right?
yeah, I'm
If they
fine
can-
with that, but look, in terms of race, sure, but I'm just saying there are actors or people that you could cast in those roles who would totally flub the role itself. I don't think that the role is impervious to bad performances. I thought even in this one, Jeffrey Wright did a good job, but I would still put Gary Oldman as a better Commissioner Gordon than I would Jeffrey Wright.
I think they would be at a very good time.
I think it would be Gary Oldman followed very closely by Jeffrey Wright. In my personal opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's...
You don't have to.
Man, you guys are heated today.
No, it's not even like heated. I don't know. Okay, so look. I was very giddy at the opportunity to come on this show and give the Batman a B-, a solid B-, right?
And you're pissed because I didn't react to that.
No, I'm not even pissed that you didn't react to it. I just knew that your evaluation of No Way Home was clearly influenced by several different factors, right?
Yeah, they're
Namely
all,
that you're a fucking hater, and you will never admit that Tom Holland is one of the greatest Spider-Men to ever play the role.
Because that's not true.
Well, yeah, because you're a hater, so you can't see that.